Here's something that will blow your mind. Bilbo Baggins was 111 years old at his birthday party, and he looked exactly the same as he did decades earlier. Frodo was 50 years old when he left the Shire, not some young adventurer in his 20s. The old Took lived to 130 years. Hobbits routinely outlive humans by decades, age at half the speed, and yet possess absolutely zero magical abilities. No spells, no enchantments, no supernatural gifts. How is this possible? How can a race live so impossibly long while remaining completely ordinary? The answer lies in a secret biology that Tolkien hid in plain sight. In this video, we're uncovering the biological mystery of hobbits, the creatures who defy death but can't cast a single spell. The impossible lifespan. Let's start with the numbers, because they're staggering. Hobbits can sometimes live for up to 130 years, although their average life expectancy is 100 years. The time at which a young hobbit comes of age is 33. Compare that to humans, where we typically come of age at 18 and consider ourselves lucky to reach 80. But here's where it gets even stranger. Based on biological analysis, hobbits live about 4.9 times longer per body weight than humans do. They don't just live long, they live amazingly long. For a creature their size, roughly 3 feet tall and perhaps 50 pounds, their expected lifespan should be around 26 years, based on standard biological scaling. Instead, they live nearly a century. Something in their biology defies the normal rules of nature. And it's not just about total years lived. Hobbits age more slowly at every stage of life. The onset of reproduction occurs around age 30 to 33. In humans, this happens around 15 years old. This suggests that, at this point in the lifespan, the hobbit ages about 2 times slower than the human. Their childhood lasts about 50% longer than ours. Their fertile years extend 20 to 30% longer. Everything about their biology runs on a slower clock. Think about what this means. A 50-year-old hobbit like Frodo isn't middle-aged by human standards. He's closer to a human in their late 30s. Pippin, at 27 during the quest, hadn't even come of age yet. He was essentially a teenager by hobbit standards, running off to war before he was legally an adult. But the mystery deepens. Hobbits don't just live longer. They're remarkably resilient to disease and hardship. Hobbits are noted to have a special relationship with their natural surroundings. They tend to have relatively good health and have a more robust immune system than men. They're also more resistant to sickness, which contributes to their lengthy lives. This isn't magic. This is biology. Hobbits evolved or were created with an immune system that simply works better than ours. They get sick less often. They recover faster. They can endure physical hardship that would break ordinary humans. Remember how Frodo survived the Morgul blade wound? A wound that should have killed him or turned him into a wraith within hours. He held on for days. That's not just willpower, that's biological resilience. The fertile soil and fresh air of the Shire also contribute to their great health. Their lifestyle, simple food, connection to the earth, lack of stress, compounds their natural advantages. But even hobbits who leave the Shire and face tremendous hardship, like Frodo and Sam trudging through Mordor, display a toughness that astonishes everyone around them. This biological hardiness extends to their minds as well. Consider Smeagol, a hobbit who possessed the One Ring for nearly 500 years. Any other mortal would have been utterly destroyed within decades. But Smeagol's hobbit biology allowed him to endure, twisted and corrupted, but still alive, for almost 6 centuries. Gollum died at the age of 589, technically making him the oldest hobbit who ever lived, if we count his corrupted form, the missing magic. Now, here's the paradox that defines hobbits. They live impossibly long. They resist corruption. They possess remarkable toughness. And yet, they have no magic whatsoever. Quote from Tolkien's Prologue. Hobbits have never, in fact, studied magic of any kind. This is extraordinary when you consider the world they inhabit. Elves weave enchantments into everything they create. Wizards command fire and lightning. Even men of Numenor forged weapons wound about with spells. But hobbits, nothing. Not a single magical tradition. Not a single spell. Not a single enchanted artifact of their own making. In The Hobbit, Tolkien wrote, "There is little or no magic about them, except the ordinary everyday sort, which helps them to disappear quietly and quickly. This ordinary everyday sort of disappearing isn't actually magic at all. It's just their natural talent for stealth. Hobbits are so good at being quiet and unnoticed that it seems magical to outsiders. But there's no supernatural force behind it. It's pure biology, soft feet, light steps, an instinctive ability to blend into their surroundings. The protagonists of Tolkien's works are not powerful wizards, elves, or even men. They're small, comfort-loving hobbits with no innate magical powers. This was deliberate. Tolkien wanted his heroes to be ordinary, relatable, human in all the ways that matter, even if their biology was slightly different. The ring resistance mystery. But here's where hobbit biology becomes truly fascinating. Despite having no magic, hobbits are more resistant to the One Ring than almost any other race in Middle-earth. Chief among the reasons that the hobbits are more resistant to the ring is that they do not crave power, lust after fame, or desire to rule over any others. The hobbits' love of their simple life means that the power of the ring does not exacerbate any hidden desires. This isn't magical resistance. It's psychological resistance rooted in their biology. Hobbits evolved without ambition, without the drive for power that corrupts men, without the pride that brought down elves. Their brains are simply wired differently. They want food, comfort, friends, and a nice garden. The ring can't corrupt desires that don't exist. The ring works by amplifying what's already inside you. For Boromir, it amplified his desire to save Gondor through strength. For Galadriel, it offered the power she had always secretly craved. For Isildur, it promised eternal dominion. But for hobbits, what could it offer? A bigger pantry, more frequent meals. The ring found nothing to work with. No ambition to twist. No lust for power to exploit. This is why Gandalf chose Bilbo. This is why Frodo could carry the ring all the way to Mount Doom. Their biology protected them in ways that magic never could. The evolutionary puzzle. So where did hobbits come from? How did they develop these remarkable traits? Tolkien clearly states that hobbits are not technically a distinct race from men, the way that elves or dwarves are, but branched off from other humans in the distant past of the Elder Days. Hobbits are humans. Or rather, they were humans once. Somewhere in the ancient past, a group of humans split off and evolved, or were changed, into something different, something smaller, something longer-lived, something resistant to corruption in ways their human ancestors never were. But Tolkien never explains how this happened. He never tells us why hobbits developed their slow aging. He never reveals what caused their resistance to the ring. The origin of hobbits is one of the great mysteries of Middle-earth. Even the hobbits themselves had lost information of their origin and relationship to the rest of mankind. Some scholars speculate that hobbits were blessed by the Valar, much as the Númenóreans were blessed with extended life. Others suggest they simply evolved in isolation, their small size and peaceful nature selecting for longevity over generations. Still others wonder if there's something in the soil of their homeland, something that altered their biology in ways no one fully understands. The perfect design. In the end, Hobbit biology represents something profound. They are perfectly designed to resist evil, not through power, but through powerlessness. Not through magic, but through simplicity. Not through ambition, but through contentment. Think about it. If hobbits had magic, they might be tempted to use it. If they had power, they might be corrupted by it. If they had ambition, the ring could exploit it. But by having none of these things, they became the only creatures in Middle-earth capable of carrying the ring to its destruction. Their slow aging meant they could endure long journeys. Their tough bodies meant they could survive hardship. Their simple minds meant they couldn't be corrupted. Their lack of magic meant they never attracted Sauron's attention. Every aspect of their biology, their size, their lifespan, their psychology, made them perfectly suited for the one task that would save the world. Quote from Gandalf: "Some believe it is only great power that can hold evil in check, but that is not what I have found. It is the small, everyday deeds of ordinary folk that keep the darkness at bay." Hobbits are Tolkien's answer to the question of how ordinary people can change the world. They prove that you don't need magic to be extraordinary. You don't need power to be strong. You don't need a long lifespan to leave a lasting legacy, though it certainly doesn't hurt. And that brings us to the end of this exploration into the secret biology of hobbits. If you found this investigation fascinating, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. What do you think caused hobbits to evolve their unique traits? Was it divine intervention, natural selection, or something else entirely? Share your theories in the comments below. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.